Hello, I'm Mitch Goldberg with Clientfirst Strategy, and I am really lucky to be joined with a friend of mine, Michael Wright, aka Mr. Wright. He is a residential realtor. I think you call yourself the South Shore broker?
Yeah, South Shore Realtor. Yeah.
I'm sorry, South Shore Realtor, excellent. And he's been doing this for a while, and I want to speak with Mike specifically about how to help a first-time homebuyer in the home buying process. So I'm going to ask you a very open-ended question.
Please.
What is the first one or two pieces of advice you give to a first-time homebuyer?
So the first step of someone who's looking to purchase their own home is, you kind of alluded to it, twofold. First, you definitely want to interview and choose a professional realtor to work with. I recommend interviewing 2 or 3 of them so you can find someone who works with your personality and understands what you're looking for. Would you ever, in your right mind, go into a court of law and use the other side's attorney?
No.
Absolutely not.
No.
Sounds silly.
Yeah.
Unknowing buyers do that every single day. When you go straight to the listing agent, their fiduciary responsibility is to the seller.
Yeah, you know, my wife and I have bought houses in the past. Usually you sign and I say, you know, by the way, we represent the seller.
Correct.
That's what you mean, right?
Absolutely. So you need representation in your own corner so that you have your interests protected.
What qualities should a first-time home buyer look for in a realtor? I understand you said if the personality is a match, do you need to work with a realtor who is working on off of MLS? Do people pick one off of Zillow? Do you need to use a broker with the, I would imagine the answer to this is yes, but you want to use a realtor who is a specialist in a particular area where you'd want to live, and that's how I always do it.
Sure, I mean, with the age of the internet now, you can find agents from different areas, but yeah, you want someone who specializes in the area that you're looking. You want somebody with some experience, obviously, and yeah, it's really someone who you get along with, that's professional, that's going to be responsive to you, and knows the business. The second part and the second step of deciding to purchase a home and doing your homework is to meet with a qualified mortgage lender, right? Meet with a bank, and they're going to quantify your budget. The realtor that you choose can certainly recommend a qualified lender that they've worked with, that they have experience with in the past. They should give you maybe 2 or 3 of them as well. And no offense to people flipping houses out there. I mean, if that's what you want to do and you're not handy at all and you don't want to hire any contractors or be in charge of any repairs, they can be phenomenal houses with excellent features and everything is brand new and you don't have to do a thing except for move your stuff in. However, in terms of an opportunity to build equity in your home, it is more advantageous to go to a house that isn't a complete gut job, but something that might be 10, 15 years dated. So that way, when a couple years down the road, you can redo a bathroom, you can redo a kitchen, you can maybe just refinish the floors or replace the carpets and paint, redo the siding, and in stages, not all at once.
So Mike, let me ask you one last question.
Sure.
Do you ever find yourself advising a new home buyer to actually just walk away? That's not the right house or the right deal for you. You ever do that?
So let's say a home inspection report comes out and the house is a disaster. There's electrical hazards and plumbing hazards and the roof leaks and there's mold. Would I advise them to walk away? Maybe. Or we could talk to the seller and say, hey, listen, these are issues with the house. You're going to encounter these issues with the house. No matter what buyer comes along, would you be willing to address them before we walk away? Or if I'm working with an investor who knows that those are the issues and he just wanted to have them verified by a home inspector, then that's going to be a different piece of advice than I would give, let's say, a first-time home buyer.
Right, okay. So one way or another, though, either the seller has to remedy the situation for the buyer, or the buyer has to say, well, I'll give you a much lower price to compensate us for the work that we feel we're going to have to do.
Sure, or the buyer could say, listen, I understand.
It's a negotiating process
Exactly.
every step of the way. Michael, thanks so much for coming on and talking to me about all these important things and sharing your wealth of knowledge. Again,
It was a pleasure.
thank you. Michael Wright of,
Douglas Elliman Real Estate.
and you want to state your email as well?
Sure, it's michael.wright@elliman.com.